Hello everyone, Vern Seward here again for Go Geezer, and today I'm going to be talking about insect repellent, specifically Deet, D-E-E-T, versus Picaridin, and which one's better? One of the reasons I didn't go camping when I was a kid was because anytime I went out, I would become a walking banquet for any sort of biting insect. I mean, I could be standing in a crowd of 100 people, and I would be the only one getting bit. Back then, the only effective insect repellent was Deet, D-E-E-T, and it was developed by the Army back in the 1940s. For something to have been around for such a long time, it has to be effective, and Deet is. It has been proven to be effective against just about every type of biting insect, from mosquitoes to midges to ticks and fleas and things like that. The problem with Deet is that it can leave an oily film on your skin, which a lot of people find unpleasant. I know I do. Another problem is that it has this obnoxious odor. I just cannot stand the smell of Deet when I'm wearing it, and so I try to avoid it as much as possible. And lastly, it can be very corrosive to certain types of plastic like rayon and I think several other plastics. So if you have a tent, say for instance, that's made of rayon, or if you have clothing items that's made of rayon, it can be very destructive to those things. The other major player in the insect repellent world is Picaridin, and it was developed by a company called Bayer in the 1980s. It's been used by other countries all through the 1990s, but it wasn't until 2005 that the FDA approved it for use in the US. Picaridin was developed to address some of the shortcomings of Deet. It's not oily on your skin. In fact, it feels pretty good. It doesn't smell. It's odorless, completely odorless, and it doesn't corrode plastics and other materials. So it's safe to spray on your clothes and spray on your equipment. There are other insect repellents on the market as well. One is called IR3535, but it's been proven not as effective as Deet or Picaridin in repelling insects, mosquitoes in particular. Another popular insect repellent is oil of lemon eucalyptus. And there are several manufacturers that make insect repellents based on oil of lemon eucalyptus. It's pretty effective against mosquitoes. You have to use a little bit more of it in order to get the same protection as Deet or Picaridin. But again, it's pretty effective. And the nice thing about it is that it is a natural substance. It's made from leaves of the lemon eucalyptus plant. And so it is a natural substance, and it's been proven safe for pregnant women, though it is not recommended for kids under 3 years old. Something that you want to keep in mind when selecting an insect repellent is that the percentage of the active ingredient really matters. The rule of thumb is that the higher the percentage of the active ingredient, the more protection that you're going to get. Of course, the downside of that is that the higher the percentage of the active ingredient, the more likely it is that you may have some sort of adverse effect that you're really not wanting. So it's best to test it, to try out several different types and test it before you go out into the woods, and make sure that you don't have an allergic reaction and the percentage is giving you a protection that you're hoping for. The rule of thumb is that anything between 20 and 30% is going to give you approximately anywhere between 5 to 12 hours of protection. Anything lower than that is obviously going to give you less time in protection. Anything higher than 50%, regardless of the type of insect repellent, it's really not going to give you any more protection than what you would get, say for instance, at 50%, which is about 12 to 15 hours. So I would probably stay in the 20 to 30% range. So the question is, which is better, Deet or Picaridin? Personally, I like Picaridin. Again, it doesn't smell, it's not oily on my skin, and I've been using a 20% solution, and it's been pretty good, actually. It keeps the bugs away for about 8 to 12 hours, and it doesn't smell obnoxious, and so that's what I've been using. That's not to say that Deet is any product that uses Deet is a bad product. In fact, some of the newer products that are on the market now address some of the shortcomings of Deet. In other words, there are some that has Deet in a powdery spray, which obviously doesn't leave an oily film on your skin. It doesn't smell that bad, and in fact, it smells pretty good, but you will get an odor with Deet no matter what. And it's been shown to be pretty effective, even in this new incarnation. So you might want to try those out as well.
What am I using right now to keep these bugs away? I'm currently using a product called Repellent. It comes in both spray and wipes in a 20% Picaridin solution. I'm not fond of the way it feels on my hands, but it works really well. If you're looking for a more natural solution, try Repellent's Oil of Lemon Eucalyptus Repellent.
Well, there you have it. A nice rundown on insect repellents and how to use them, the different types. And one of the things I would caution you again is to make sure that when you apply these repellents, especially the sprays, that you do it away from anything that you don't want the repellent to get on. So if, say for instance, you're in a parking lot or something like that, and you want to spray it away from your cars, away from anything that might have plastic in it, especially if you're using Deet. Because as I mentioned before, Deet is corrosive to some plastics, and you don't want to have that effect on any of the plastics, especially also with your hands. Remember, when applying insect repellent to your face, you want to spray it into your hands first, and then apply it to your face, making sure that you don't get it close to your eyes or in your mouth. But once you're done that, you want to make sure you clean off the palms of your hands so that you don't grab your steering wheel and apply the Deet or insect repellent to the steering wheel and cause some corrosive action there. So just a couple little small hints that you might want to pay attention to when dealing with some of these repellents. Okay? All right. Okay, that's going to do it for this installment of Go Geezer. Please remember to subscribe and to click on any of the links that I have in the comment area. Have a good one, and stay tuned.